Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this.
Liverpool transfer news live. Arne Slot hits back. Castello Lukeba boost. Joao Gomes interest. Liverpool return to action on Sunday when the Reds make the trip to West Ham United on Sunday. It's a must-win for Arne Slot's side as pressure mounts on the Dutchman following a dismal run of 9 defeats in 12. The Premier League champions sit in the bottom half of the table and are enduring their worst run in 72 years with the January transfer window set to open next month. Slot has faced questions over his future in the Anfield hot seat and the pressure surrounding the job, with Jurgen Klopp named as the bookmakers' favorite to return to Merseyside. Should Slot be relieved of his duties? With the transfer window opening in just over a month, the speculation surrounding incomings at Liverpool is intensifying. There has been a suggestion that Real Madrid have withdrawn their interest in Ibrahima Konate, with the France international out of contract in the summer. Meanwhile, Marc Guéhi and Antoine Semenyo remain heavily linked with January moves to Liverpool. The Reds' defensive problems are mounting as they continue to ship goals, but due to injury issues, they are limited to just to fit central defenders in Virgil van Dijk and Konate. The Bournemouth star, Semenyo, is said to have a release clause of around £65 million that becomes active in January. Liverpool are said to focusing on the 25-year-old amid links with a move for Michael Olise of Bayern Munich signed up to our Liverpool newsletter. Times are tough being a Liverpool fan recently, and most won't want reminding about the dour run that the club is currently on. However, we have a 1,700-strong subscriber base over on Substack, where posts are uploaded every Friday, bringing you the latest news and insights on the Reds. We are aiming for 2,000 before the new year, and it would not be possible without you. We have had exclusive insight from the likes of Emile Heskey and Jermaine Pennant on there, with more Substack exclusive bits in the future. Also, it's free. Castello Lukeba release clause emerges after Liverpool interest. Florian Plettenberg has claimed that Castello Lukeba is one to watch in the summer transfer window. Liverpool have been previously linked with RB Leipzig defender, and it wouldn't be a surprise if their name was directly suggested in the future, although it has been claimed that Bayern may swoop for his services with Dayot Upamecano's future unclear. Plettenberg says that Lukeba will have an €80 million £70 million release clause at the end of the season, which will drop to €65 million £56 million in 2027. He tweeted, "Castello is one to watch for the summer transfer window. He will have an €80 million release clause at that point. Financially powerful clubs have him on their lists. The clause drops to €65 million in summer 2027. His contract runs until 2029. Max Eberl is a big admirer of the left-footed center-back, but his main focus remains on extending Dayot Upamecano's contract. It's almost impossible to change our complete idea. Liverpool's form would turn overnight if Arne Slot changed, right? Not according to the Dutchman, as he suggests that it is almost impossible to make changes to his starting side. Is the question, should I change dramatically?" He said when asked whether he needed to shake up his starting side. "If, for example, you want another system with 5 defenders, that could be an issue. I don't even have 5 defenders. It suits the players best, the system we are playing now. They have played this system probably throughout their whole career, and there is hardly any training time for us, so it is almost impossible to change our complete idea about football if we play every 2 days." Incredible Premier League manager on Liverpool's list to replace Arne Slot. Liverpool are reportedly already keeping an eye on potential manager targets in case they decide to sack Arne Slot, with Bournemouth's Andoni Iraola being linked. The highly rated Spanish tactician has done a hugely impressive job with the Cherries, getting them to play some fantastic football and keeping them competitive despite often having to sell key players to bigger clubs. Iraola has been linked with other big clubs like Manchester United in recent times, and it seems inevitable he'll land himself a bigger job at some point. Former Bournemouth man Jamie Redknapp praised Iraola as incredible and also backed him to land a job at any club he wants. Our information earlier this season was that Iraola was being eyed by Man United, as reported here for the Daily Briefing, but the latest is that he's on Liverpool's radar. There's also been talk of Chelsea eyeing Iraola as a long-term candidate. But what's the latest on his situation? Andoni Iraola eyed by Liverpool and other big clubs. according to YNWA. The LFC board are considering parting ways with Slot after a disastrous recent run of form that has seen them lose 9 of their last 12 games. The Reds are said to be considering an ambitious potential return for former manager Jurgen Klopp as one option, along with a surprise move for Ange Postecoglou. However, perhaps the most intriguing candidate there is Iraola, who also seems most likely to be the most realistic option for the Merseyside Giants right now. Klopp has publicly spoken numerous times about not wanting to return to management, so it's hard to see him going back on that less than 2 years after leaving his role at Anfield. Iraola looks a much better bet than Postecoglou, so that seems like one to watch if Slot can't turn things around quickly. Liverpool take on West Ham at the London Stadium on Sunday, and surely anything other than 3 points is going to lead to serious pressure mounting on their manager, Mohamed Salah. Virgil van Dijk and Liverpool's 10 biggest underperformers during rotten Reds run. As Curtis Jones admitted on Wednesday, Liverpool are in the sh*t right now. The humiliating 4-1 Champions League defeat at home to PSV means the ragged Reds have now lost 9 of their last 12 games in all competitions, and the common consensus is that Arne Slot is only still in a job because he won the Premier League last season. But how have Liverpool gone from champs to chumps in just 6 months? The impact of Diogo Jota's death on the friends he left behind certainly can't be overstated, with left-back Andy Robertson publicly disclosing his ongoing torment in the midst of the joyous celebrations that greeted Scotland's qualification for the World Cup last week. It's clear, though, that there are other factors at play, not least Slot's ongoing inability to come up with any tactical solutions to Liverpool's plethora of problems in every area of the pitch. However, it certainly isn't all the manager's fault. Former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher is among those presently pointing the finger at the players for a perceived lack of leadership, and captain Virgil van Dijk has admitted that they are letting themselves down at the moment. Virgil van Dijk, for the first few months of the season, Van Dijk was the only thing holding Liverpool's brittle backline together. Indeed, after the fortuitous 3-2 win over 10-man Newcastle all the way back in August, Carragher admitted that he didn't even want to imagine where the Reds would be without their inspirational skipper. Unfortunately, we now have a little bit of an idea, because while Van Dijk is still there, at the heart of the defense, he's looking like a cheap imitation of the Colossus that led Liverpool to the title last season. Indeed, judging by his ludicrous handball against PSV, the third penalty he's given away this season, more than any other Premier League player in all competitions, Van Dijk has become another victim of the general malaise on Merseyside. Nobody can fault Van Dijk's commitment. He's been visibly hurt by the Reds' rapid fall from grace, but he actually seems to be trying too hard to turn things around, which is why we're now seeing the captain making uncharacteristically rash challenges. If Van Dijk doesn't rediscover his composure, Liverpool really are done for. Florian Wirtz has been nowhere near as poor as many critics have tried so desperately to make out. Indeed, the Germany international was integral to arguably Liverpool's best 3 performances of the season so far, against Atletico Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt and Real Madrid. Wirtz's creativity was also seriously missed in the 3-goal losses at home to PSV and Nottingham Forest. However, there is no denying that Liverpool supporters expected a hell of a lot more from the £100 million signing from Bayer Leverkusen than 3-goal involvements in 16 appearances in all competitions, even allowing for the fact that it often takes time for overseas players to get to grips with the physicality and intensity of English football. Wirtz has often looked out of his depth. When he returns from injury, the attacking midfielder will be under immense pressure to prove that he can cut it in the Premier League, although it might help if he were given a regular run of starts in his preferred position behind the center forward. Ibrahima Konate's next move is clear after Real Madrid transfer snub. It's the update no one should be surprised at. Ibrahima Konate's inconsistent performances are beginning to put off potential suitors. Perhaps inconsistent is a kind word for the Liverpool defender's standards this season. His displays have baffled. Despite all the negativity surrounding Konate, he has at times been outstanding. That was the case against Arsenal and Burnley in the early weeks of the campaign, and even recently in defeat to Manchester United. However, those highs were offset by several dismal lows, as his chaotic showings went unpunished in August and September. Of late, Konate has embodied Arne Slot's side, nervous, erratic, and dreadfully underperforming, The last 3 performances have been truly shocking for a player who was among the league's best defenders last season. He has now been withdrawn in 7 of his 18 starts this season. It's not quite the standard Real is looking for. Hence, the Athletics update that the 15-time European champions have communicated. Their diminished interest should not come as a shock. Why? With the side that styles itself as the continent's best look to recruit an error-strewn liability, Los Blancos are not the only club linked with Konate. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, and Barcelona have also been credited with interest in the Frenchman. But neither of the trio specializes in recruiting free agents quite like Real. Make no mistake, Friday's update means Konate's chances of remaining at Liverpool beyond June are significantly greater. Despite some social media grumblings, that is a positive. It seems many fans have quickly forgotten just how impressive Konate was last season, and there have been flashes of that defensive colossus at times this season. It should not be overlooked that Liverpool remains keen on securing the former RB Leipzig man's long-term future. The club does not underestimate his quality despite the disappointing start to the season. Meanwhile, centre-back is becoming an increasingly precarious position in Slot's squad. Virgil van Dijk's standards have dropped, and his contract expires at the end of next season. As does Joao Gomes's, as reported by Liverpool.com earlier this month. The Reds are willing to let the long-serving player leave should they have sufficient options in that area. Giovanni Leoni's transfer has not gone to plan since his summer arrival, and there are no guarantees he will be fit this time next year following that season-ending ACL injury. Mark Guehi remains a transfer target. One Liverpool could still make a January move or sign for free next summer, or even lose out on altogether. He is not short of interest from Europe's preeminent clubs. Another intriguing figure lurking in the background is Joao Gomes. The England international departed Anfield last summer and is excelling at Bayer Leverkusen. Liverpool retains a buyback option, which could be exercised next year. Given the deficiencies at the heart of defense this season, few would be surprised if Liverpool did. All this feeds into the Konate saga. There are so many unknowns in that area. Undoubtedly, Liverpool's No. 5 remains the greatest of those uncertainties. And Friday's update does not necessarily mean he will remain at the club next season. That is unlikely to help with his volatile form. And it is perhaps not a surprise that Konate's standards have dropped since he entered the final year of his contract. Getting them back to last season's levels must now be the priority. That will be a positive for Liverpool, Konate, and any other interested parties. The Reds won't be interested in the latter, though. They will hope Friday's update clears some of the fog that has engulfed Konate over recent weeks and ultimately result in him renewing extension talks. Liverpool get green light to complete €40 million January transfer. Liverpool have a golden chance to sign a bargain centre-back right now. Arne Slot is struggling. One of the biggest factors as to why he's struggling is because of the lack of centre-back depth available to him. Liverpool just don't have the options to rotate. Giovanni Leoni has been ruled out of the rest of the season and Joao Gomes is struggling with fitness issues. So, Richard Hughes needs to enter the market and pursue a move. Thankfully, January is now just over a month away, and it will present the club's sporting director with the perfect opportunity to make a move and fix Liverpool's problems. There's been a lot of talk about Mark Guehi, but a move for him in the winter window just doesn't seem to make sense considering he is available on a free transfer in just a few months' time. Another player is available right now, and he's exactly what Liverpool are looking for. The type of player Liverpool need at the moment is someone who is a very stable defender, reads the game well and can play alongside Virgil van Dijk to give Ibrahima Konate a bit of respite. Konate is struggling at the moment in terms of form because he is being asked to play a lot of minutes. The amount of minutes he is playing he is simply not used to. Liverpool have always rotated him and gave other players an option. So, the Reds need a potential alternative to Konate. It would also be helpful if that alternative option could be someone who could also replace the Frenchman, considering Konate is yet to extend his current deal at Anfield, which expires at the end of the season. Who might be the perfect solution for this? Jeremy Jacquet. You might be asking, who? He's a 20-year-old centre-back currently playing for Rennes who broke onto the scene in Ligue 1 last season. A French U21 international, Jacquet has really stood out as one of the best young centre-backs in Europe's top 5 leagues over the course of the last calendar year. Jacquet is first and foremost an excellent defender. He reads the game well, He's extremely fast and strong in his duels, and he's good at closing space and anticipating where the ball is going to go. Blessed with a towering physique, long legs that can stretch out and make important blocks, clearances and challenges. Jackhead is the definition of what you want from your center back. On top of everything, he's also a very composed player on the ball. The numbers support that as well. Jackhead has won 63% of his defensive duels and 70% of his aerial duels. He's only one of 17 center-backs in Europe's top 5 leagues under the age of 25, who has won at least 60% of his defensive duels and 60% of his aerial duels, while also averaging at least 8 progressive passes per 90 minutes. Now, if we increase the threshold to winning at least 70% of aerial duels, he's only one of 3 defenders fitting that criteria. One thing that stands out about Jackhead is that he is effective at spraying long passes. Out of center-backs who average 3.5 long passes at least per 90 minutes from the above criteria, Jackhead has the best long pass accuracy, 63.44%. Now, Codifside are reporting that Rennes' asking price for the player is just 40 million euros. With Manchester United among the clubs ready to meet that figure, Liverpool should be among them too. That asking price is a green light for Richard Hughes to make a move.
Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.